I'm glad you all came out to help further justice in this city. It's very unfortunate that we do so in a tragic time.
Yes.
Yes. Last night, many of us showed up to Williamson Street to stand with the family of Tony Robinson and also to fight to get justice. The facts are stated. A young black 19-year-old teen, right? This is a child. This is a kid.
Yes.
Remember who you were at 19.
Yes.
Right? A 19-year-old, right? Probably barely can walk straight. Right? A 19-year-old was gunned down. 5 shots to the chest.
5. Yeah.
Unarmed black teen. That's going to be very, very important to remember. This was a child. Too often what happens when black children are killed is they're made to seem evil or like a villain.
Yes.
We have to remember this was a child. A black child was gunned down, killed, shot 5 times in the chest by Madison Police Department. Young Gifted and Black, our mission and our approach is still the same. We have always been about justice for black communities, and we have always believed that the way to do that was community engagement and lifting up the voices of those most impacted, creating power, and demanding that justice. That's exactly what we're going to do here. We understand the events of last night to be connected to many of the things that we have been talking about happening in this city and this county. Yes. Too often people in Madison say, whoa, 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 wait a minute, we're not Ferguson.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 wait a minute, we're not New York. We're not Chicago. We're not Milwaukee. We are.
Yes.
We are.
We are.
The same structural racism, the same structural violence that can lock black people up indiscriminately at such high rates is the same structural racism.
That's right.
Is the same structural violence that can kill a black child.
Absolutely.
This is urgent. This is immediate.
Yes.
So Young Gifted and Black is going to be continuing the work that we're doing to bring about justice in the streets, engaging. Here are a couple things that a couple things that we heard last night that we need to, as a community, address immediately.
I got it. Yes.
Yes. All right.
One, there is the wellness of the family.
Yes.
This is a time of deep crisis and turmoil.
Yes.
I have never met Tony, but I grieved.
Yes.
I am still grieving.
Yes.
I could not imagine the loss of my child.
Yes.
So we are going to do everything we can as a community to get as close to wellness as we can for the family. That includes a couple things. One, if you are a resource provider in this room, please stop and talk to us. If you have access to something, some care package, some free counseling, some whatever, this family needs it. And not just the family, but the young people, right, impacted by it. So if you have connection to resources, whether it be financial or connection through organization, please stop and talk to one of us up here so we can get your information and get that to the family so that they can get what they need in this trying time. Two, they need services and money, they need money for the services, for the funeral services for Tony. We're going to make sure as a community that happens. Here's a couple approaches to it.
Yeah, so at noon I'm gathering a group of clergy throughout the city, and we're going to start talking about ways that we can support the family, raise money among our clergy for tomorrow morning, for our first thing when we get up in our pulpits on Sunday, and to make sure that we have a common liturgy that talks about how we can work together across our faith traditions, across our racial traditions, to make sure that we have something right. We'll be doing that today at noon at the church, noon at Christ in Solid Rock, to start that conversation among clergy leaders and faith leaders. At 1502 Parkside Drive, the church is Christ in Solid Rock Baptist Church. So we're doing that. Parkside Drive.
So that is part of the community response. That's what we all in this room can do to help bring wellness or to help get services for the family. Another thing that we're going to do, and Young Gifted and Black is committed to do, is the mayor, this is his city, he should pay. And the police chief should pay. This family should not worry about any of this right now. There are resources amongst those two infrastructures or institutions, and Young, Gifted, and Black is going to be showing up to demand that they pay whatever that family needs, including mental wellness services, as well as funeral services, and any other thing, food or whatever, that this family needs to try to get through this difficult time. So the second piece that we are committed to doing is accountability for what happened last night. We know the story too often of young Black people being killed by the police and nothing happening as a result of that. In Madison, we're going to win. We are going to win justice. And there is a strategy that we must engage in as a community to get there. Justice is not something you just wake up to and stumble upon. It requires study, it requires strategy, it requires organization. And Young, Gifted, and Black is committed to doing that with you all. This has to be a community effort. And to talk a little bit about this, I want to talk to you about Ferguson, right? Because it's important that we understand the lessons there and what it can mean here. So in Ferguson, in August, a very similar story. An unarmed Black teen was gunned down by a police officer. Immediately, young people, family were grieving. It was emotional outcry, and they went into the streets. They did this because what else power do we have? We have people power. And so they went out to build up people power in their time of grieving, in their time of crisis. What ended up happening as a result of that was an urban rebellion. One that we haven't seen one like that in quite some time, right? So what ended up happening was an urban rebellion. As a result of that, they have been able to, even though Darren Wilson was not locked up, they have been able to work on creating structural change in that community so that there will be no more Mike Brown. So we need to be thinking about here, what is the immediate thing that we need, as well as what is the big picture change that should happen here, so there will be no more Tony Robinsons in Madison. So, what happened in Ferguson is so many of us, of Young, Gifted, and Black, actually went down to Ferguson. We were on the ground, we spent time, we learned, we talked to people, and some of us were also involved in some of their strategy sessions for how to create justice or how to get people further toward justice. And a couple of things that I've noticed which are going to apply here. So immediately after the assassination or after the killing of Michael Brown, the first thing that the media did and the police did were try to vilify him.
Shame.
Last night at about 2 or 3 in the morning, I began to see in the news that they were saying things, negative things about Tony. They began to say how he was violent, how he caused this issue. We cannot allow that story of Tony to go.
That's right.
The family has asked that their son, the truth be told about their son.
That's right.
The family has asked that the truth be told about their nephew, about their brother. The community demands that the truth be told about Tony. It's going to be very important for you all to speak truth in the ways that you can. On Facebook, you have a following. 10 people to 1,000 people. Speak the truth of Tony Robinson. Call it out. Call it out for what it is. This is racist fear-mongering. Call it out for what it is. Speak the truth of Tony. The facts are 19-year-old black boy, teen, gunned down by Madison Police Department.
Unarmed.
If you have media contacts, let us know. If you want media training for how to do some of this, whether it be how to post on Facebook, how to do Twitter, how to do any of this to continue the work, let us know. We, Young, Gifted, and Black, are committing to providing whatever infrastructure the community needs to bring about justice. The other thing that I saw happening in Ferguson is they were doing things to divide the community.
Yeah.
They knew that the community was powerful when everybody was together. Because I tell you, the power that we truly have is people power. Yes. And if we are divided, then that power is divided.
That's right.
They did this a number of ways. They brought in different leaders, some from outside, some inside of the community, to try to tell the people, do not go in the streets, that you should go home and wait. You should go home and wait until they bring about justice. Young Gifted and Black, the community and these young people are not going to wait until DCI and Madison Police Department decide to be different. What we know about Ferguson, the reason us in this room know Ferguson is not just because Michael Brown was killed. There are Michael Browns all across the country that we don't know. We know Ferguson because that community said enough.
Enough.
And they went into the streets and they forced justice where there would be none.
Yes.
That is what we have to do here.
That's right.
There are going to be many approaches that we need to take in order to get justice. But we cannot abandon the approach of needing to be out in the community, out in the street, using our bodies, our people power to force justice and bring awareness of the issue. Yes! So that being said, there are a couple already structured events that Young Gifted and Black and community members are going to be at to demand accountability and demand justice using our people power.
Okay, there's a rally being held today at noon, so we'll head over there as soon as we get done here. It's being sponsored by the Madison hip hop community.
Yes.
Downtown at Madison Police Department, on Wilson Street, I believe. So we will be asking that you all join us. I believe they have a series of speakers. We will also ask that you join us next week on Wednesday, March the 11th. We are planning a huge action for Madison social justice fighters, Milwaukee justice fighters, and a couple other surrounding areas. So it's going to be a huge action for Tony Robinson as we take to the streets and take the streets. So we ask that you come and support us. We ask that you support his family and have the understanding that we get nothing if we don't show up. We get nothing if we do nothing. To be silent, to not to speak is to speak, not to act is to act, and we have to know that.
Yes.
So I just want to make an announcement real quick. Folks have been asking for social media purposes what to hashtag. Hashtag justice for the number 4 Tony, as well as Ferguson to Madison.
Yep. So we are going to post everything.
PP&J is 5:15. PP&J is 5:15. Health and Human Needs is at 5:45. They are across the hall from each other.
Okay, 1 second. We'll break it down in 1 second.
The kids from Madison East High School are also doing a walkout on Monday.
On that note, they're going to need some support because that is like a serious place to target folks who are like young and full of like anger about something like this.
Do we know what time?
It's a beautiful thing, but like we need to be there as well to back them up on that.
But some kids are going to come in the morning right away. We don't have an exact time. But probably, we'll post it totally. But,
Thank you.
So all of this that I'm posting here, we are going to post on our Facebook page, Ferguson T.O. Madison, so you all can find out about the actions and events there. We also, in between here, we don't have the details worked out, but one of the things that we're going to do, and we're using this model based on what people do in the domestic violence movement when someone is killed from domestic violence. What they do is they get the most impacted people in the room, and they also have mental wellness providers to help people deal with the grief of what happened. That will be a closed meeting. We are still working on the details. We're still coordinating with mental wellness providers and therapists to be able to provide that, as well as a couple spiritual leaders who can help, because this is a time of deep grief.
Yes.
And deep sorrow. So that's not quite listed yet because we are still working out the details, but when that is solidified, we will let the appropriate people know. So Monday, East High. That's important. You're absolutely right. Young people are impacted. Young people are grieving. Young people often get criminalized and villainized. What's important, very important, that we stand with the ways that young people are trying to express that grief and build up that power.
Absolutely.
Tuesday, PP&J, Public Protection and Judiciary. This is a committee, a subcommittee of the Dane County Board of Supervisors.
Yes.
Who are the elected officials that serve of Dane County. The reason why we think people need to be there is this not public protection?
Come on now.
Is this not the central issue?
That's right.
Folks should be there to demand accountability and demand that that body use its power to bring justice for Tony Robinson and his, and his family. What is also happening there is they are going to be discussing a resolution connected to that Young, Gifted, and Black has been doing a lot of work. There's going to be hearing on a resolution about renovating a jail and issues that Young, Gifted, and Black were raising around mass incarceration. So please turn out. Like I said before, these issues are connected.
Yes.
Right? If Tony Robinson wasn't killed last night, statistically speaking, he may have ended up in jail.
Come on now.
Shouldn't this be brought to the city council as well?
We are.
Isn't this a city council?
That's why we're inviting them out. That's all we're saying.
Next city council meeting, March 17th, 6:30, City County Building, room
201.
So I'm going to quickly try to get these events. Go ahead.
And also, what about the governors? We need to have the governor in accountability. Got you going on with that. So let's not leave out the governor.
If anybody's going to the East basketball game, we're all wearing blackout colors. All the kids, we're telling the parents, wear black for Tony for tonight at the game because we won our basketball game against West in the playoffs. So I don't know if we play tonight.
And please post to our Facebook and tag us so that we can spread the word about any and all things.
And also at 5:45 Tuesday, there's a Health and Human Needs Committee. This is a health and human need issue, right? And what we have to understand is there are multiple departments and multiple groups that all play a role in what brought us to the events of last night. And all of them should be held accountable for the roles in creating the lives and the conditions of Tony Robinson's and many more. Wednesday at 3 p.m. There's a march for Tony, and we're taking it to the streets.
We're meeting on Wednesday at Department of Corrections on East Washington. Know that we're meeting there. Know that we have a plan. We're asking everybody to come out and support. We want to make sure there's not just 200 people like last night or 300 people that enter the county building, but we need thousands.
Right.
We need thousands. They need to understand that we have a plan. That this just isn't a black issue. This is a community issue. This is a city issue. And then we refuse to continue to accept the status quo injustice. So again, on the rally today, we'll be leaving here. We'll be asking that everyone here leaves and goes over to the Madison Police Department where the kids were held last night off of Wilson Street. So you want to park in the Martin Luther King area, and we'll go from there. And again, I just want to emphasize everything that she said. We need to support these babies. They need to have adult role models to provide structure and education.
Follow their lead.
And we got to allow them to do them. Allow them to be creative in their approach and their response. And allow them the opportunity, and allow us the opportunity to engage them, and the opportunity to teach them, but not to take over. Or to think that we know more than they do. Because we do not.
We don't.
That's right.
And again, these meetings are extremely important. It is necessary that we bring new voices to the table, that we amplify what we've been already saying, that we will no longer stand for state violence, that state violence manifests in Madison in the form of mass incarceration, and now the murder of a black baby boy. We also will, again, marching on Wednesday, Department of Corrections, East Washington. Thursday, we will be taking on the sheriff directly. YGB is debating the sheriff over the jail. It's directly related to the murder of Tony Robinson.
That's right.
So we ask that you guys continue to come out, show up, and show out. This is not a moment. This is not a day.
It's a movement.
This is a movement.
Yeah.
This is going to take us work, commitment, and perseverance. We encourage you to take care of yourself emotionally and spiritually. We are in a fight for our lives.
Thank you. All right. Good one.
For their lives. And I also want to say one last thing. I'm sorry. I just want to say one last thing. Do not allow them to divide us with these narratives of black on black crime. Of these narratives about what's happening in our community. We must understand that there's a direct link between state violence and black people being powerless and brown people being powerless and poverty. And because of that feeling of powerlessness, when our backs are against the wall, like anybody, with anybody, anything, any mammal, any animal, we come out fighting. And it doesn't matter who we fight. Because all we know is our back is against the wall. It is necessary that we start investing in our people, investing in our children, investing in our community, and stop regurgitating this narrative that is irrelevant. There's also white on white crime. You understand it? Don't get caught in the jam. Don't get distracted in this threat.
Also is not listed here, but
Quick question. Thursday, where and when?
7 p.m. at the LVM, which is it's on campus, which is the building right next to the Chasem Museum, Art Museum. We'll have this listed on the Facebook page. Yeah, and what's also not listed here is we are going to be having community meetings.
Yes.
As I mentioned, movement building, the civil rights, labor rights, whatever movement you're related to or you study, has happened as a result of studying science. We are studying and we are scientists, right? We're putting in a lot of work, right? We're evaluating, we're understanding, we're analyzing, right? Some actions are going to be straightforward, others will be more creative, right? A lot of these actions are going to bring awareness and put pressure. Some of them will be creative in how they do that, right? We hope that you all support all of them.
That's right.
Community meetings, we'll post them. We don't yet have the times figured out, but we're going to post them on there. Make sure you come so you all can be updated on the strategy, updated in how we are supporting the family, updated in how we're holding people accountable. As I started out with, we will win. We will get justice. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. We must be calculated in our approach. Yes.
If people want to contribute monetarily, how do they do that? Who do they see? Is there a point person for that?
So there are a couple ways to do it. So Christ the Solid Rock can take up connections. So you can write checks or give money directly to Everett. And Freedom Inc. is also taking up collections. So if you write a check, we'll give that, or the monies will give that directly to the family. But that is the way that Young Get to the Block is able to support the taking of
Who do we make checks out to?
Christ the Solid Rock. And then you put memo, you put the family contribution.
Yep.
Tony Robinson family contribution. Get out here.
And I don't want to prolong this, but was a taser not an option?
Well,
You don't know. You don't know.
Even that would be too much.
All the time.
Right, it's always.
And that should be the first training, that you taser first. You know, I figure like this. If you need to pull your gun and you that scared, what's wrong with a leg? What's wrong with a leg? I mean, you shoot somebody in the leg. I ain't heard nobody dying from being shot in the leg. You want to shoot so bad, what's wrong with the leg?
Why not talk first?
Taser
post talk.
What's important here?
Or don't tase at all.
The tasers, they're more expensive than the guns are. They get trained in how to use a taser. Why is that not the second line of defense behind?
It is when you're white.
It is. What's important here, a couple things that we really have to wrap up because we got to get this going for this rally. But what's important here to remember is to stay with the big picture. If you say to the police chief, why did you use a taser, he's going to come up with 100 reasons for why a taser wasn't used. But the facts are still the same. A black child was murdered. That is unacceptable.
Yes.